There we are. Yeah, I did that. Anyways, Papua New Guinea. The next NRL team was announced, and it was unveiled to be Papua New Guinea. In a landmark deal alongside with the Australian government, I think it's like around $600 million, Papua New Guinea will be having a team in the NRL in 2028. And a lot of people were not happy. A combination of political meddling and other places being in the minds of people being more deserving of teams have been mostly the main issues when it's come to this expansion. But I want to look into the positives and the negatives of this and kind of just, I guess, come to my own conclusion of whether or not this will end up being good. Firstly, the positives. Obviously, it makes sense that Papua New Guinea have passion for rugby league. I mean, they are the only country in the world where rugby league is its national sport. Like, you kind of got to have that. And alongside the rest of the Pacific, they have a lot of passionate fans who very much care about the sport. Like, every time they do the Prime Minister's 13, and the crowds are all bonkers and that. It's really cool. This also, I believe, opens the opportunity of Papua New Guinea players or players with that background to go there and to help establish this. Like, you could have someone like Alex Johnston. You've also kind of got the Queensland Cup team in the Hunters, which could be the possibility of that's what the team becomes, which I think honestly just makes sense. And it's also got like a fair amount of time to breathe and let this sort of happen. It's got about 4 years. Like, the Dolphins, I think, only had like 2, if anything, from memory, but I could be wrong. So at least this is given time to adapt, and this will obviously financially help Papua New Guinea as well, because they've been having a bit of a rough patch in the last couple of years in terms of stuff. So it could help a lot of things and make itself, with that money, a attractive place for people to come watch and play rugby league. Now we go into the some of the problems. The biggest issue to come out of this is that this is obviously very politically charged, because this is Australia's effort to try to step in to prevent China spreading its influence in the Pacific, which they have been doing in the last couple of years. It's something very similar that China have done like massively in Africa, like in countries like Zimbabwe. Yeah, they just, it's like for influence, essentially. It's kind of like a bit of a Cold War type thing, but no, like proxy wars, so you got something like that. So obviously it is a big thing, and people are going on saying the phrase about, oh, we need to keep politics out of sport, which I feel like is one of the few instances that I kind of like, yeah, universally like agree with it, because that sentence is mostly said when it's like, usually it's just some political thing that people don't agree with. Also, another factor is, how are they going to attract talent to play for Papua New Guinea? Sure, it could be easier for players who have, obviously are a part of the Papua New Guinea national team, are from there, and also players who have that cultural background. It could be like a very cool experience for them. The problem being is that can only get you so far. Like, how would this New Guinea team attract like the big players? Because let's be honest, they kind of need to, because everyone's kind of making jokes about, oh, they just get the wooden spoon at the end of every year. And honestly, unless they do get like some proper credit and like examples of how they're going to do this, it is going to become a bit of a thing, unfortunately. And also, there's the possibility the money just gets corrupted. But the big thing that people are complaining about, apart from the politics, apart from the attracting of talent, is that why has New Guinea gotten it, but other places haven't? Now, the 3 big areas that have been in talkings about getting an expansion team is Western Australia, South Australia, and a second team in New Zealand. And I have to agree. It's like the NRL have been doing enough of like the State of Origin series where one of them's out of state, where they're doing it in WA, South Australia, and Victoria. Obviously, Victoria already has a team in the Melbourne Storm, and I think with the amount of people going to the games in Adelaide and Perth, I just think at this point you might as well just fire the gun. Now, granted, It's not sure if this New Guinea team will be the 18th or 19th team, so there could be one that's introduced earlier. But I think one issue that no one's really talked about as well is the talent pool is kind of already stretched thin, as is with a 17th team of the Dolphins. It's going to become a massive arms race, and it's just... I think we're stretching the talent pool out too far, to the point where we're going to start a massive influx of poaching from rugby union. Like, this is what I think will happen. Overall, I do want this to be successful. I want this to do well. Like, it's a fantastic opportunity to bring rugby league more into the Pacific. The question is, this also does open a little bit of a can of worms of, do we start spreading it out to, like, you know, Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga, so it just becomes the super rugby. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes. I want to remain optimistic and think this could actually go well, but I do very much understand why a lot of people are against it. So what do you guys think? What are your like pros and cons about this, and just overall thoughts on Papua New Guinea becoming the new expansion team? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you all later.